the PICO 4 Pro was released in China only. So just so that you are aware and you might be confused in terms of what's out there right now regarding the PICO 4 and their current state. The PICO 4 was announced and released some time ago, released in China and in Europe, but wasn't released in the US or like in more other countries. Not released in the US because the parent company, Byte something, I forgot. The company that owns TikTok also owns PICO company, or like the product. And since the US is like, should we ban TikTok? Shouldn't we ban TikTok? Like, so because of like, they want to stop China or whatever. And so they're like, well, we don't want to, because of this, we don't want to, release the PICO 4 in the US and then suddenly there's a ban, so can't really sell the thing, and we wasted a lot of resources, time and money on this. So we're just gonna wait and see what happens until there'll be a decision whether it's a yes or a no. If all's good, then they would release it in the US, but for now they're just waiting. So that's why it's only available in China and in Europe, the PICO 4. With that said, so PICO 4 announced and released. After which the PICO 4 Enterprise was released, and that's specifically specifically aimed at companies and organizations, professional people. And that headset is basically the same, but just slightly more faster, better RAM, I think a bit bigger. The size for its drive, like memory, is also bigger. But it also has eye and mouth tracking, so they have full face tracking. And it was sold, or it's being sold for around $900. And that's only released in China, I believe, and maybe Europe, I can't remember. But for you to be able to get it, you need to have a registered company, then you'll be able to get it. So it's not available for consumers directly. Now here's the interesting thing. So the PICO 4 is like around $400-500. The PICO 4 Enterprise is $900, around $900, as mentioned. Now, so PICO 4 Enterprise. Now the PICO 4 Pro got released last month, only in China. It's basically the PICO 4 Enterprise, but with the normal store software thing. So it has the face tracking, it has the upped RAM and better CPU and bigger memory. But the difference is, it is around $550 instead of $900. And yeah, that's the amazing thing. 500 something gigabytes of storage. I forgot the RAM, maybe like 8. I can't remember. And yeah, but the important thing, it has the face tracking, and it's basically the normal PICO 4, just with face tracking and better specs, generally speaking. And it's being sold, for a cheap price, considering features, of $550, considering that the Quest 3 was first announced for $1,500, then they decreased it to $1,000, I think, $1,900, and the PICO 4 Enterprise was released at $900. So this at $550, this is great. Now, does it make it so? That the question for me now, or like what I'm thinking right now, is this the best headset to get? If you never had a headset before, a VR headset, it probably is, if you are able to push $550, and if you are able to get it from China and handle the shipping costs and the duty tax and all of that stuff. But I'm not gonna include it in the total, because you do your math. Every country is different, every shipping service is different, so you do the calculation on that. So 550 plus your tax and your shipping costs. So, is it the best headset? Generally speaking, and for that price range, probably yes. And I'm taking into consideration, so here's what I'm taking into consideration. The Quest 2, the Quest Pro, the PICO 4 Enterprise, the PICO 4, let's see what else, the XR Elite, and the Quest 3 that wasn't announced yet. However, it'll probably be announced either a month from now, the Quest 3, or in October, I think. That's when the event will happen. And the usual event that happens every year, the meta event. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm comparing it to. And with the assumption that the Quest 3 leaks are accurate, and I'm saying this because the Quest Pro leaks were accurate, like really accurate, and the Quest 3 leaks is from the same guy, so that's why I'm going with these assumptions. The PICO 4 for its price, PICO 4 Pro for its price, it's better than everything from all the headsets that I mentioned. And obviously better than all the expensive ones, considering the price range as well. Like the Pimax or whatever it's called, or the Beyond, I think it's called. Big Screen Beyond. But Big Screen Beyond is its own thing, so let's just leave that on to the side. But yeah, so that's my statement, I guess, with all the context that I mentioned, with the presumed, or like with the assumptions of what the Quest 3 is. So yeah, PICO 4 Pro, face tracking, decent RAM, decent CPU, yeah. And let's see, a good design, good balance with the battery at the back. Comfort is, from what I heard from friends, is as good as the Quest 2, meaning as bad as the Quest 2. So you would probably need to replace it, the gasket, for a better one. The only bad thing about it is, let's see, the games on it is not, so like as a standalone VR headset, is not as plentiful as is not as plentiful as the Quest 2. And yeah, and I'm lagging right now, so I'm just gonna end the video right here. But yeah, aside from that, and aside from the controllers not being self-tracking like the Quest Pro, that's not an issue for me because I don't really put my hands in the back. And the Quest 3 from the leaks is just the Quest 2, just smaller in size, less weight, and with the pancake lenses, and that's about it. They haven't leaked the controllers yet, which is interesting, but I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. So yeah, Quest 3, no face tracking, and probably no face tracking, and probably no self-tracking controllers. So yeah, with that said, I think if you don't have a VR headset and you're really tight on budget, but you still want some kind of quality, it's gonna be either Quest 3 or PICO 4 base. I'd still go with PICO 4. Let's say the Quest 3 is $300 and the PICO 4 is $400. I'd probably aim for the PICO 4 because of how nice the design is. But if you can push a little bit more in the budget department, I'd put in like another, like how much, like $100-$150, and Pico 4 Pro because of the face tracking and more RAM and all of that stuff. And yeah, I actually think the Pico 4 Pro is the best VR headset in the market right now, assuming that the Quest 8 doesn't beat it and having all the features and adding a better design and having a better design. So yeah, what do you guys think? Tell me your thoughts on it. Do you think the Pico 4 Pro 4 and Pro might be the best headsets, or do you think there are better headsets around the same price range? So let's say $300 to $600. All right, see ya.